Hi guys, it's been about 10 days since I've done a video. I've been really busy. I went back to I think in the last video, or one of the last videos, I went back to the area of Western North Carolina where I was selling some property. Went to the closing. That went pretty well. There was a couple little glitches, but nothing major. Got that cleared up, sold the property. I'm still waiting for my dad's probate to close. Anyway, I've had some other... I have been really busy. Anyway, a few days ago, I headed up here. Right now, I'm in Mocksville, North Carolina. I headed up to, a couple days ago, to Charlotte, to... a dealership there. I wanted to look at some cars and some vehicles. It's as usual. It's late. My eyes are burning. I'm always doing this. Anyway, I looked at a Hyundai Sonata to begin with. I wasn't too sure about that. I think it did have the split folding seats, but I just wasn't too sure about that. I then moved on to Kia Sorento. I did not like the Kia Sorento at all. And it didn't have that much room. A few days before that, I was at another dealership and I test drove a Pontiac Torrent SUV. Very nice, very good handling. It was 2008. It was a little bit older, but it was a very good handling SUV. I really liked it, but it did not have enough room. Now, at the dealership in Charlotte, I did test drive the GMC Acadia. Really liked it. Plenty of room. I wanted to do some trades, though, and that kind of got, I have a couple vehicles I wanted to trade, but that kind of got in the way because, I don't really have a way to get them to the dealership in Charlotte. Anyway, but I've done business with this dealership before. But anyway, one of the biggest issue that came up for me with this dealership is, and I've experienced this before with other dealerships, where they kind of do what they call an on-the-spot delivery. And basically what that means is you're allowed to leave the dealership with the vehicle, yet you aren't technically approved for financing. Now, you leave, you think you're approved for financing, but you're not. And in that particular scenario, they can call you back a few days later and say, oops, you weren't really approved, so you have to bring the vehicle back. You're not going to be able to get approved for that car that was, say, 2 or 3 years old. You're going to have to end up taking something else. And usually it's a brand new car, higher interest, bigger payments, more money than what you initially thought you were going to pay. This is usually after they take your down payment, though, and then they refuse to give you your down payment back. Then the only way to get the down payment back is basically to take them to court, fight them in court, get a lawyer. It's a real headache. When it happened to me, I was trying to get into this has been many years ago. I was trying to get into a 2006 Ford Escape. Turned around, they told me I couldn't get financed, or the financing didn't go through, whatever as the case may be. And I ended up basically being called back to the dealership. I was able to get financing for a brand new Ford Focus. Don't get me wrong, I love the car. It's been great, so I'm not disappointed. However, I had a higher interest rate, bigger payments. It wasn't what that's not what I was trying to get into, and I told them that right from the get-go, but, they refused to give me my $5,000. I'd put $5,000 down to get into the Escape, and they refused to give me my money back. And the only way I could leave was I had no choice, sign the papers and take the car and go. So I wasn't pleased with that, but there was nothing I could do. I'll be back in just a few seconds. So toward the end of the deal, I just decided to walk away, you know, and I second guessed myself a couple of times, you know, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done this. But the GMC Acadia was a great deal. It really was. But at right around 19,000, probably closer to 20 off the lot, that would have been with cash. With 44,000 miles, can't complain. It was a good deal, but I just started to feel uncomfortable, and you know, the way things were going, I started to feel uncomfortable with the deal. And I've been through this before, where they pulled a spot delivery. I didn't really know that that's what it was called until I did a little research, but found out that it is called a spot delivery, or basically what I call bait and switch. Anyway, or if you Google yo-yo dealers, things of that nature. Anyway, and many dealerships in Charlotte do this. I have dealt with more than one. My apologies. Anyway, so I just walked away from the deal. I decided I wasn't comfortable with the way things were, because I just wasn't feeling it. I was starting to get uncomfortable. And my down payment, you know, and I remember what happened before. I put $5,000 down, and I ended up forced into something I don't want. And this time, I mean, then it wasn't as big of a deal, but now I'm looking at something else. A sedan's not really what I want, but I mean, you know, it's at least, you know, it's not really what I want. I'd rather have a van or SUV or something. But I mean, you know, a sedan is doable, at least for right now. At least for the foreseeable future, you know, traveling in a sedan is definitely doable. Again, my apologies. But getting something like, being forced into something like a Ford Fiesta, or you know, something of that nature, you know, one of those little EcoBoosts, those things are tiny, or some other little car, you know, like a Toyota Yaris or something. That is not my ideal. That's not what I want to be in. And so I just decided that I'm not going to take the risk, because I'm not willing to take the risk, because I know what I want. I prefer a SUV, a van, but my apologies. Anyway, this was a bad time to do a video, guys. Really bad time. But anyway, I wanted to get this out. Like I said, I want an SUV or a van. I don't know that I'm going to get that, but at least whatever I do pick, I want it to be my pick. I don't want it to be someone else's pick, and that's what happened. But it has happened before. It's their, you know, they basically decided, the dealership basically decided what I was going to drive away in. I didn't get an option. I was told what I was going to drive away in, and that I do not want to happen again. Anyway, so this video is basically just to tell you guys a little bit about the spot delivery, how, you know, a lot of customers don't realize that that's basically what it is, that they may not really be approved. And if they don't have good credit or the bad credit, or they have kind of fair credit, there's a very good possibility that you will be given a spot delivery. Now, a lot of times they go just fine. You get into whatever you're trying to buy, but oftentimes that's not the case. And at least everything I read online, the main recommendation is to secure your financing before you go to the lot. That way they can't pull a spot delivery, because you already have your financing in place. So there's two options: either pay cash or get your financing someplace else. That way you go to the dealership, you got your financing in place. They're not going to need to run your credit, because you've already got your credit from your bank or some other finance company. That's my 2 cents on that one. Anyway, we'll be back again in another few seconds. Hi guys, I'm back again. Well, as you can see, my eyes are burning so bad that I have decided that staring at the camera is not going to work. And the interior lighting is kind of really bothering my eyes. So I decided just to, because I'm rubbing my eyes too much. It's late. I should have waited and done this video another time. But honestly, I want to get this out. I want to get it out. I kind of needed to talk about that. There's a lot more that I want to do as well, or talk about rather. A couple things coming up that have happened, because it's amazing. 10 days I've been off for 10 days, and wow, so much has happened in 10 days. That's crazy. So anyway, it's just amazing. It's just crazy, how much has happened. So, and a lot has happened, and there's some other things I'm going to talk about that don't really have anything to do with being in a car or RV or van or travel or anything. And that I'm going to go in another video. As far as the vehicles, as far as the dealership, I decided to walk away from the deal. Not that I want to, but I felt really uncomfortable toward the end, so I decided it just wasn't for me. And that is a lot of money, $20,000. By the time that my interest rate was going to be really, really high as well, close to 20%, they said, because of my credit, and that's a lot. It was a 2015 GMC Acadia. Basically, it was listed at close to like 18.9, and I'm gonna walk away, have 27,000. That's if I add a warranty, closer to 30,000. I'm gonna have $30,000 tied up into the vehicle. 6-year-old vehicle, 30,000. That is a lot, and I'm gonna be upside down. And I would have been upside down in the loan the minute I walked off the lot. That's not really my idea. If I had issues, I couldn't trade it. I'd be stuck with it, and it wouldn't be brand new. So, the likelihood of a 6-year-old vehicle, the likelihood of there being issues is far greater. Anyway, so those are some of my reasons, and I decided, it just wasn't feasible. I had to walk away, and it wasn't something I wanted to do, but because I really liked it. And I looked online later on Car Gurus and Cars.com and a few other places, and I didn't find that many GMC Acadias, one or two that would fit in my price range. Most of the ones I found were much older. Not a lot older, but they weren't 2015s, of course. They were more like 2008, 2009, and much higher mileage, above, in 125,000 to 135,000 mile mark. Something I was also not too hip on. But anyway, so I had to walk away from that deal. I didn't want to, but I decided it was the best thing for me, so I walked away. Now, in my next video, I do want to go over and show you some of the vehicles that I've looked at. As I said earlier, I looked at a Pontiac Torrent, test drove it, I really liked it, but it wasn't big enough. The Kia Sorento, I did not like at all. It was not at all what I wanted. The Hyundai Sonata, a good option. It was actually very nice. It was actually a good deal. That was a really good deal, as a matter of fact. It was a 2017 Hyundai Sonata with 69,000 miles. They were asking 10.9. That's a little under 11,000. That's a pretty good deal. I would say that's indeed a good deal. I don't know if it's like, it's a good deal. Of course, there are other deals out there. It's not the only one, but it's a good deal. So, and as I've stated in other videos, I've been looking around for another vehicle, and I've looked at a couple others. I'm about there to that point where I want to, that I'm gonna have to. I gotta get another vehicle, unveil it, figure out what I'm going to do. I'm not looking for a sedan. I really want a van or an RV. I mean, not an RV. I do want an RV, but I can't afford an RV. So, but I'd really like to have a van or SUV, van preferably, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So I'm just going to have to, pick something, go with what I hope just go with something. So, and I will unveil whatever I pick. I'll, hopefully soon, I will unveil that soon, hopefully, when I find something. I do have another appointment on Saturday to go to another dealership in Charlotte to hopefully maybe test drive some more cars, vans, SUVs, whatever they got. Maybe I'll find something, maybe not. Unfortunately, I'm going to do another video where I want to show everyone the GMC Acadia. It's hard to really, it's better to be able to do it in video, but unfortunately, I couldn't go out there with my camera and just start videotaping, that's not really acceptable. They weren't really going to do that. I couldn't really do that at a dealership, but I do have some of the pictures that, I do have some pictures, so I can put those up and, and kind of, give you a little bit of idea, I can show you the pictures, give you an idea what you're looking at, and what I have looked at so far. So, and of course, as I've said in earlier videos, I have looked at, I've been looking off and on for, looking off and on for quite a while, but really looking the last couple months. I've test driven a Chevy Impala. I've test driven a Buick Century. Let's see. I looked at a couple of Hondas, but I missed them. Looked at a Toyota, a Camry, missed that. Just because I'm doing a lot of research online, and then that's how I'm starting my shopping. So anyway, like I said, Camry, Hondas, couple Hondas, test drove the Buick, test drove a Impala, let's see, I think a Fusion. That was a newer Fusion. I think I might like the older one a little more. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, the Pontiac Torrent. I really like the Pontiac Torrent, but just not big enough. And then, the Hyundai Sonata I liked, but I really like it. It's a little bit more squirrely, and the seats are a little bit harder than what I wanted. I liked it, but it wasn't quite there. The GMC Acadia so far, that's been the one that I really, really like, but price range, it was too much. My credit is really bad. I was reported as deceased a few years ago. Anyway, that really ruined my credit. Wiped everything out, so it doesn't look like I have any credit. And the other vehicles that I wanted to look at were gone, There was a Ford Explorer on the lot. I was going to look at that, but they said that, I guess it was a trade. It was a smoker vehicle, so I'm not interested in that. I don't want any vehicle with any smoke smell or anything like that inside it. I don't smoke, and I don't want to be around that. And I definitely don't want to. I do not want a vehicle that I'm going to spend, I don't want to say like a bunch of time in, because I try to spend as much time outside of my vehicle as possible. But I definitely don't want a smoker vehicle that I'm going to be sleeping in or traveling in a lot. That's no, absolutely not. There was also it was a good deal. This was a great deal. I can't what year was it? Oh, 2008 Cadillac SRX crossover. From the picture on the website, it was a nice vehicle. Of course, it was already gone when I got there. And it was a good deal too. I think it had 137,000 or 132,000. I don't remember the exact. But anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up. I'm hungry. I'm at a Love's travel stop. I need to go inside. I need to, whatever. I need to go inside. I need to eat, and you know, and I'm very tired. My eyes are burning, so I'm going to wrap up for now. But I am going to come back later and do another video with all of the vehicles and, you know, give everyone just a little rundown on at least my experiences with what I've test driven and what I know about as of now. So for now, good night. God bless. We'll be back another day.